next tutorial. This tutorial is meant to be for the main mascot from the band Misfits. Now, I'm not overly familiar with the band, so I apologise if I get any of this wrong, but I believe the character's called Crimson Ghost or the Fiend. I'm a bit muddled with that. Mainly this guy is pretty much portrayed in black and white. However, there is one particular instance, I think, for their American Psycho album cover art, where he's this blue and white shaded creature. Yeah, I thought it was a more interesting one to recreate. Plus, I had a lot of people request it in the past, so I'll flash on the screen now the first few people that requested it. Obviously, I can't shout out everyone's name because this video will be about 3 hours long, but here they are. But the very, very first person that requested it was, and I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, so I apologise, but Fusel or Fussel Invasion. Yeah, I'll pop their name there, so thank you, you were the first person, but thank you everyone that requested it. So if you'd like to learn how to recreate this makeup, stay tuned. So, 10 points if you can guess what the first step is. Yeah, as always, I'm going to block out my eyebrows. So I'll probably link here to the tutorial that I did in the past to teach you guys how to do that, so I'll make this video a little bit shorter. So I'm going to block out my eyebrows and we'll go from there. Then I'm going to work on building up my brow. So I'm going to take liquid latex and a sponge, and the idea is I'm not going to make this particularly angry. I'm just going to make it more of a pronounced brow, just so I can make the eyes look a bit more sunken in. I'm only going to be working in this area here, really, to be honest. I might cover all my brows, just why not, just to make them extra hidden. But I'm mainly going to be working this triangle here, so I'm going to add some latex around here to about 3 layers, and I'm going to build it up with a tiny bit of tissue, so nothing major. Then I'm going to take some tissue paper, which I've torn into, so I've got the thinner halves, and I'm going to use tiny little strips, so nothing majorly bigger than that. And the idea is to apply latex in the centre, so that's where I'm going to build it up, and then I'm going to apply it in a triangle shape. So I'm going to stick it down there, and then cover that in latex. So I'm going to keep building that up, so kind of overlaps in the corners here, not necessarily to make it angry, maybe to give that suggestion of angriness, but more so, as I said, to build this area up so the eyes look deeper. So yeah, so I'm going to do that for about 4 coats, nothing bigger than there. Make sure the edges aren't particularly thick because we want to taper this off. So yeah, maybe 3-4 layers in the middle, maybe 1 layer on the outside. So there we are, nice and pronounced, only a little bit angry. Yeah, so then I'm going to start sketching on the bone structure and the teeth. I mean, obviously this isn't anatomically correct because the teeth go all the way out there, so very cartoony. So I'm going to take a Stargazer black Kohl pencil, and I'm just going to start sketching on the rough teeth shape. So don't focus too much on getting things neat because I'm going to be covering that in white. It's just I need to map out the areas that I want to colour first. So I've just drawn on the rough teeth in the style and the size that I want. Yeah, so then I'm just going to take the pencil and I'm just going to start drawing on a few of the shapes that I want for the bone structure, for the cheekbones and the eye shape. So there we are, so again I've got the rough shape, so I've drawn on the cheekbones and the temple bone here, and then I've got the eye shape, which again is rough, but I've got it slightly pointed, but ovaled across, rounded across rather, and I've gone down the eye bags, and I've made it so it's pointed here, so it's slightly angry, but I've got it drooping down further on the sides to kind of make the eyes look a bit sadder at the same time. And I'm just going to draw on a shape for the nose. So then I've got the rough shape of all the detailing. So now done that, I can start going in with some colour. So I'm going to start on the foundation in between. So as I'm going off the American Psycho artwork cover, I'm going to make this guy blue. So I'm going to start with a lighter shade of blue and then go in with different darker shades of blue and some blacks, just to give that messy, rough texture that it always has. So I'm going to be using several different shades of blue, but the main colour I'm going to be using is a sky blue watercolour by Snazaroo, but I've mixed that with maybe 1 part of that to 3 parts of Snazaroo white, like clown white, because it's easier to start with a lighter colour than its darker colour and lighten it up, if that makes sense. So once I'm mixed together, I've got this shade here, so it's, yeah, a really nice proper sky blue. So I'm going to apply that all in the middle areas of this colour here, and then I can work on the teeth and make it more sketchy. So then I'm going to take some Snazaroo white watercolour and I'm going to use that to apply all over these teeth and my lips here. It doesn't matter too much if you're going to cover all this black detail you've done here. As I said, that was just meant for just mapping out where it's going to go. Then I'm going to take a black Snazaroo watercolour and a really fine sharp angle brush, and I'm going to start tracing on the shape for the teeth again. You can roughly see through the white watercolour. So I'm just going to do one rough stroke of it, and I can neaten it out with some cream afterwards. Then I'm going to take a Collection 2000 Extreme Eyeliner pen in black, and I'm going to use this because it's got a really fine tip and it comes out really dark, and it's a lot easier to control than using a brush, for me anyway. And I'm just going to use that to round off all the edges. I've already made the edge round with the brush with the white, but I'm going to round off the tops and bottoms of each tooth. Some of them should be higher and lower. Try not to make it too much like a grid if you can. Then I'm just going to go in each tooth and start rounding off some of the edges, making a few of them a bit more jagged. Yeah, just so they're not as grid-like and symmetrical. We just want to make them each tooth individual, except for a few teeth here, which I'm just going to colour in and black out because he's missing a few teeth. So I've got several teeth that are missing. Yeah, so then I'm going to take some Grimas Black Cream, which is their 101 colour, and a small but firm brush. I'm just going to load the brush up with colour, and I'm going to start scoring each of these teeth upwards and then downwards. So in between each tooth, I'm just going to push the brush down, then stroke it downwards. So not too far, but I need the line to taper off in between each tooth. So then I'm going to take the black cream, and I'm going to start applying it on the inside of this line going across the temple and the jawbone. Not blending it out yet, I just want to apply it in maybe a centimetre thick all the way around, and then we can blend it downwards. Then I'm going to take that colour and start blending it outwards and downwards over the teeth, so it makes this area here look more prominent. So if you can, try and leave the outside edge quite dark and the rest of it tapering off. Yeah, it just makes this bit here look a lot more prominent. Then I'm just going to do the same again on the jaw, so I'm just going to draw one line going about here, I think, and then pull it across and then blend that colour outwards. Then I'm just going to take the black cream again and I'm just going to colour in the nose area. Then I'm going to take a dark Snazaroo watercolour and I'm going to use that to colour in the complete eye area, so including my eyelid and the bag underneath. So again, don't worry about it being too neat for now because we're going to messy that up. Then I'm going to take the same blue that I used on the eyes and I'm going to start following around the shapes that I've drawn on the bone structure. So going straight down around the jaw, down the bottom here, around the shapes and the temples, around the eyes. Yeah, so I'll do it on a time lapse so you can see where I've gone, and then I'll start blending it out afterwards. But this isn't meant to be neat, it's meant to look random and just to make it look like an illustration, really. So not necessarily symmetrical. So then I can take what I've done here and no more colour, just maybe a tiny bit of water, and I can start blending that colour outwards, but not blending it too much so that you can't see where I've gone, if that makes sense. So try and blend it around the lines that you've drawn. Then I'm just going to take that dark blue again with hardly any water, and I'm just going to start spackling it and dragging it downwards under all of the teeth, and do the same on top as well, pulling it upwards. Then I'm going to do the same again as I did with my teeth. I'm just going to start spackling out the area around the eyes, more so in the opposite direction, so leaving it sharp on the inside, more blended outwards, not necessarily evenly or neatly, but blended out more this way. Then I'm going to take a pure white MAC Chromaline colour, and I'm going to use that, I love these, I'm going to use that just in the waterline of both my eyes and just underneath my eye ever so slightly. Then I'm just going to cover my neck area here and my ears and my hairline in the black watercolour, just so that when I apply my costume none of my skin shows through. Then what's left for me to do is pop in my contacts, my costume, and I'm done. And there we go. So I finished the look off by popping in 2 bright green contact lenses, which I got from camowise.com. I'll pop the link in the description bar below. They're not absolutely necessary. I just think for the album cover art, they look really vibrant, so I thought it might be interesting to try and get as close as possible. Popped on 2 gloves, which are skeleton gloves, which I just got from a random party shop. The only reason I use skeleton gloves, I try usually to stay away from them because I think they look a bit, I don't know, too cartoony, but it does seem like the artwork is drawn in particular with someone wearing these, so yeah. And I popped on a red hood, which again I just got from a party shop. I think it's the Red Riding Hood, yeah. And of course it wouldn't be complete without a candelabra with 3 candles, yeah. So I'm probably going to set myself on fire. If you are going to do this, please get one that's battery operated. Be sensible. I'm not sensible, but yeah, just think it adds to the look. So yeah, that's my makeup tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, please make sure to, you know, the usual, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz, because it super helps me out. And yeah, so until next time, bye.